Hello and welcome to the first video in English here on my channel. I hope it will follow soon by many more. It consists on a basic study of the color that I have used when painting my Ghazghkull Thraka warboss. It's part of one of the step-by-step videos that I have published on Instagram, and a friend suggested to me that it would be interesting to have it in English too. I will explain in a simple way the function of the main colors in the different areas of the miniature in its frontal view. So there it goes. I hope you find it useful. Starting from a picture of the complete miniature, I first go to magnify a bit the saturation of the colors to make their effects more visible during the explanation. Then I remove all the color information in the image, keeping only a grayscale. First of all, we observe all the parts of the miniature that use the color red mostly, mainly the armor. That's the color that mostly defines the rest of my army, because they are evils and orcs. We can see the predominance of the red tone throughout the central area of the miniature. Helping us with this oval, we see how the red color is concentrated and limited to said central area. The function of these two small zones is to integrate an external element, the backpack, into the overall of the miniature. The base, being painted in a range of warm tones, orange, reddish and brown, contributes to settling and integrating the lower trunk and legs of the miniature. Now we look at the yellow and yellowish green tones. We can see that these colors are distributed at very specific points in the area that was previously dominated by red tones. This positioning has a specific function that we will see below. We again use simple geometric shapes to see the effects of the colors. We start with the two minor elements in the image, the upper circles. Its function, as previously occurred, is to help integrating the backpack a little more into the body of the orc. Now, the inverted triangle, whose vertices are the two shoulder pads and the ventral plate, has a very clear and evident mission: to focus the observer's attention on the most important part of the miniature, the face or head. Now in the head, I have allowed myself to play a little more with some minor visual effects. The right tooth of the iron jaw and the rear cables that connect the skull, which are in the area opposite to said tooth. Both elements are painted in fairly saturated and bright yellow tones, either warm or more greenish. If we align those two elements, along with the yellow tones of the metallic skull and the greenish tones of the skin, we obtain a line with a well-defined orientation. And what's the reason for this effect? My intention was that this imaginary line coincided with another parallel line, well defined by the big metal claw on the right, to give a more coherent feeling to the sculptured color union. And this effect is further reinforced since the main tone of the claw is also yellow. Continuing with the claw, we see how on the left side of the miniature is counterweighted by the hue custom shooter. Both elements are painted in partially similar yellowish tones, and in which I have replaced the greenish or bluish hues of the previous painted yellow elements with more orange and reddish tones. Thus, the two hued pieces that flank the miniature are similar in terms of tones, but also different from those previously used on the shoulder pads and head. With this, we managed to frame the central part of the miniature and focus a little more again on the head. A final detail is made up of both the smoke from the shooter and the claw blades, which are the most external elements of both pieces. They are painted with bluish main tones and with reddish and orange shades. This is a reinforcing effect of what we have done in the previous step with the complete claw and gun. If there are more or less symmetrical colors on both sides, instead of being very different, we tend to pay more attention to the center and not diverting attention to one side or the other. This ends this little explanation about the use of color in this miniature. I hope you find it useful and enjoyable. Of course, any suggestions to improve future videos is always welcome. Don't forget to subscribe if you found it interesting. There will be more similar videos soon. See ya!